Well, again, welcome aboard 1942 Boeing N2S3 Stearman here today at Fantasy of Flight. And we're going to have a great time. It's a beautiful day to fly. Again, my name is Rob back here, Jeff. So the idea on the takeoff here is you want to look straight ahead. Basically, I can say if you look at that compass that you can't read, if your eyes are focused there, you put your eyes there and then you focus on infinity. And when you do so, you'll see these little white runway markers on both sides. And that's how you know when you're in the middle of the runway. So without the wind here today, what you're going to do is you're going to bring the power up really slow on the application of the throttle. The airplane will start obviously accelerating down the runway. The stick will be in neutral, which is right where it's at right now, which is great. And then the tail will be the first to fly. So that's why you asked me how fast. I don't know. The tail comes off the ground, and when the tail comes off the ground, the airplane's saying, I'm ready to fly. So we're going to gently bring the airplane off the ground and then let it accelerate in ground effect, and 75 miles an hour is the magic climb, remember.
Okay.
So you said earlier that you've done a soft field takeoff before. That's basically what you do with this airplane. It's basically a soft field takeoff. I'm going to have you do it, and I'm going to follow through with you, but it happens so slow that I'll be talking to you throughout the whole deal. There is nothing ahead of you. I'm looking over your left shoulder, your right shoulder. Whenever you're ready, let's go fly. There we go. We're looking good. We're going straight down the runway. Go ahead and commit to the takeoff. Bring the power up. There you go. Perfect. Hold that right here. A little bit to the left here. All right, here comes the tail starting to get light. Here comes the tail coming off the ground. So she's ready to fly right now. So bring now. Lower the nose, lower the nose, lower the nose. Get that airspeed. Lower the nose. Good job with the rudder. Good. Now we're going to gently start bringing the throttle back to 1,850 RPM. Right there, good. Now I want you to make a right-hand turn. There's a city right ahead of you. The power is good right where it's at. And add that right rudder on that right-hand turn. Nothing too steep yet. Good. And we'll roll the wings back to level here. Now what you're going to find out with the Stearman is she climbs best at 75, but it stalls at 55. So we're only looking at about a 20-mile-an-hour gap there. So energy management is pretty essential when you fly a Boeing Stearman here today. We're heading on out here to the northeast. I want you to make a left-hand turn. So let's head out here to the north. Nice job with that takeoff.
Thank you.
A couple of times that, and you get used to not being over the nose. It's not a big deal. All right, now.
That would be the biggest problem if you really can't see, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in the back there, you can't see much at all.
You can't see anything back here. I don't know, if I flew in a nose-blow airplane and I could see, I think I'd be a little afraid. Let's make another left-hand turn. See that grassy area out there?
Yeah,
that's where we're going. We'll head on out that way. Now, Jeff, today you're at a little bit of a disadvantage because you're sitting up in the front seat of this airplane and you're just about sitting right on the CG. So you can't really feel the airplane yawing to the left and to the right. You actually have to rely on looking at that turn of bank indicator. When you solo this airplane, you solo the airplane from back here. So it's actually really kind of a cool thing because you can feel the airplane yawing to the left and to the right. So you don't necessarily have to look at that turn of bank indicator. Now this road right down below you to your right, that's the north-south road.
Okay.
We have Orlando's controlled airspace just to the right of that road, so we're going to stay to the west of that. Let's make a right-hand turn. Let's head up here to the north. And we're going to start off at about 1,500 feet on the way, having some fun here today. So you can see that the ailerons are pretty light.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty responsive here.
Yeah, this is good. Bring the power back just a little bit more for me. There you go. Perfect right there's fine. Now, if you look off your left wing over here, you'll see there's a fence line or a tree line right there. East and west right there. So everything out here is just like you learned. It's all section lines. Let's make a left-hand turn, and we'll head on out to the west. Good. So the reason why this is such a great trainer is simply because of its speed. I mean, right now you're flying around at 75 miles an hour. So if you had never flown an airplane before, it makes it pretty simple to mentally keep up with this airplane. Right. Let's go back to the north. controlled airspace out here. Beautiful. And last but not least, we'll make one more left-hand turn. Get you nice and warmed up for our stuff to get us yet to come here today. Now, when we get to about 1,400, 1,500 feet, we'll level the airplane at that point, and then we'll kind of go into our little song and dance here.
Okay.
Now, obviously, we do not have an artificial horizon in the airplane, nor do we have a directional gyro. So, again, you have to look outside the airplane and figure out what this thing is doing. This is plenty high. Let's go ahead and we'll level out here and bring the power back to about 1750 or so. Perfect. Cool. Now, when you got your private pilot's license, you had to do those 45-degree angle of bank turns. So we're going to start you off with those. If you look right ahead of the windscreen, you see those wires that come out of the cockpit right ahead of you? Yep. Those are our roll wires, and those are on a 45-degree angle right now to the horizon. So what I want you to do is do a 360 to the left, put that left wire parallel to the horizon, and a little bit above the horizon, and that's a level turn in the sky. So it's parallel and a little above. Beautiful right there, and around you go. Perfect. You can see your section lines right down here. This is north and south. That's 90 degrees. Right. This will be 180. That's a nice little bullseye right there. 180 degrees is there. 270 degrees would be right around here. We've got all this rain down here with this tropical storm. This is not a lake. This is the open field, yeah. Good, let's try one to the right. On this one, you'll see you have to use a little right rudder. Not much, just a little bit. Around you go. Good. So this is a great place with all these section lines down below to get your license. It's a great airplane to get your private because you have that built-in reference right ahead of you. Pretty cool. 180 degrees is here. .270 is here. Perfect. All right, let's have some fun now. Now, let's roll out of this and put that left wire parallel with the horizon again. Okay. All right, so that's 45 now. Let's go 15 degrees more than that. Let's go a little steeper. That's 50, 55, a little bit more to your left, and bring that nose on up. All right, this is 60. This right here is on your commercial check ride right here. 60-degree angle of bank turn, 360 left, 360 right, plus or minus 50 feet. So it's tough. There we are. That's a 360 there. Let's try one to the right. 45, 55, 60, boom, around you go. Good. Good. That's 180-degree turn there. 270. 360. Rolling on out. What do you think so far? It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
A little bit
nice
different.
to ride in an open cockpit.
Yeah, cool.
To feel the air. Sweet.
The air's nice. You can look over the side of the airplane. Looks like we're going about 10 miles an hour, too. So cool. Have you ever been exposed to a maneuver called a lazy 8?
I've never flown a lazy 8 yet.
Lazy 8s are fun. Again, they're on your commercial check ride. And what I'll do is I'm going to come on the controls with you. We'll do one of these things to the left. I'll kind of show you how to do it. All right. Then I'll have you do one to the left, one to the right, and then you'll do a complete lazy 8. Here's the key. We're above 1,000 feet. That's plenty high. The key on this thing is inducing about a 10-degree angle of bank. That's the key, because you don't want to overbank on this. All right, just stay with me. I'll show you how this works. This is about 80 miles an hour. 10 degrees is right there. That's all the angle of bank we're looking for. We're going to bring the nose on up. Freeze the stick right here. Don't move your stick. Don't move your feet. Look over your left shoulder. Enjoy the view. Gravity will pull the nose through the horizon precisely at the 90-degree point. Let the airplane speed on up. All you have to do here is just roll the wings back to level. Bring the nose on up. And you're going the other direction. So it's kind of cool. It's a 180-degree turn with a little bit of pitch involved. If you listen to the airplane, you hear it slow down, you hear it speed up. All right, you got it. Let's have you do one of those to the left. So 10 degrees to your left, and then bring that nose on up. Good, hold it right there. There's your stall right here. Can you feel it?
Yeah, I can feel it.
Pushing around here. And we're going to go back on downhill. Roll on out. Let's try one to the right. Same deal, but over the top, you have to use some right rudder pedal. Whenever you're ready, let's try one. Good. So push on that right rudder right here. There you go. Gravity will pull the nose to the horizon. Down here she comes. We'll roll it back to your left and bring that nose on up. If you listen to the airplane, you'll hear it slow down. You'll hear it speed up. Cool. Let's do a complete lazy 8 here, Jeff. One to the left, followed by one to the right. No stopping in between the two. Up we go. She slows down. Beautiful. Great job. This is a nice one. Look how slow it is over the top. Isn't that pretty? Much better than in a Cessna.
Yeah.
Roll it on out. Do the same thing to the right. You hear it speeding up just by listening to it. Up we go. Beautiful. You've never done those, huh?
No, I haven't done them yet.
That's the way to do them right there. Good. Beautiful job. Lazy 8. Well, what do you think so far? Does this thing fly like you thought it was going to fly?
It's amazing. It's nice and slow, and, you know, it's beautiful to fly in.
You never really want to go any place in this. You know, this airplane burns 12 gallons of fuel an hour. So it burns more than the Mooney, and it's going less than half as fast as the Mooney. But for just pure fun on a Thursday afternoon, you know, it's tough to beat. You know, open cockpit and all. The other cool thing is because they built so many of these airplanes back in World War II, I can still get new parts for the engine and the airframe right now.
Really?
So you can maintain it like you can a Mooney or a brand new Cessna.
Nice.
Cool. Add a little bit more power. Let's make a 180-degree turn. Left or right, your choice. Let's go back up to about 1,100 feet. And just keep bring the power back a little bit. Just keep that propeller under 1,900. Best airspeed is 75. There we go. Good. We'll roll out of this. There we go. Now this next thing, slow flight, lots of fun. Again, the seat of the pants flying here today. We're above 1,000. This is fine. So generally bring the power on back to about 1,300 RPM here. All right. Now, a little unorthodox, but go ahead and lower that nose for me. Put it into a shallow dive. Don't look at the instruments anymore. I want the airplane to show you or teach you what it sounds like here. Do you hear the whistle of the wind in the wires?
Yeah.
All right. Leave the power right where it's at. Bring the airplane back to level flight. Now just listen to it. Now increase your angle of attack a little bit more. It's like coasting up to a stop sign in your car with the windows down. You can actually hear what the airplane is doing. Get quieter. Bring the nose up some more. There you go. Hold it right there. Listen to it. Bring the nose up a little bit more. You're right on the stall. You're going to start feeling the stick shake a little bit, and there's your stall right there. It's actually starting to flush right now.
It's a real lazy stall.
It's fully stalled right now.
Yeah.
You can see, look at your vertical speed indicator.
Yeah, 500 feet.
Yeah, it's just dropping out of the sky. You can bring the power back in, and away you go. So it's really, really docile on the salt. It doesn't have any inclination to drop a wing or do anything that you wouldn't expect it to do. Pretty straightforward airplane. While we're sitting here at 900 feet, just bring the nose up a little bit more right here with the power on, so hold it right there. Okay. Now, when this thing stalls, right, so don't bring it up anymore. It's gonna. And watch what this thing does. It just sits here.
It comes right back down to level flight.
And it'll come right back up. Isn't that great? Beautiful. Awesome. That's why it's a great trend. Bring the power back here once again. And I want you to gently bring the power back to idle. Now, right above the stall on this, you're going to start hearing, or I'm sorry, smelling exhaust fumes coming into the cockpit. You can actually also feel fire from the exhaust hitting your face. Yeah. All right, we're ready. So just bring that nose on up. Leave the power right where it's at. Hold it. Tell me when you smell the exhaust fumes. You smell them? Right there. Right above the stall, and away she goes. Now, where that comes into being important is when you're learning how to land this thing and you're slowing it down and you start smelling exhaust fumes, you know, in the flare.
Yeah, you know you're about to stall.
It's about to stall, so you start to learn how to fly this thing by using
power there.
Exactly. Awesome job.
Definitely by the seat of your pants.
It is. Exactly. And that's what I was kind of trying to mention to you on the ground. Like, I don't know what the speeds are of this thing.
Right.
It just, you
know it by feel.
You know it, exactly. Hey, great job. We have about 8 minutes left to go before we have to head on back towards Fantasy Flight. Have some fun with this thing. So if you want to do some more steep maneuvers, we can go back up to 1,000 feet.
Okay.
If you want to do some more flying around low, we can go down in the fields down below. That's kind of a fun thing to do in the Stearman. There's nothing out here. But I will tell you this, back in World War II, you would have been expected to solo this airplane in between 8 and 12 hours of instruction. Now, a lot of times we have pilots that say, well, that's not a big deal. I soloed in, 10 hours in a 150.
Right.
Well, this is no 150. Yeah, but this is a handful of an airplane, especially in a crosswind. It is nasty.
Oh,
it will make you stay awake at night or chew your fingernails thinking about it. It's got a big old tail back there, so it wants to weather vane, narrow landing gear, high center of gravity, so it's kind of tough.
So how low can we go?
How low do you want to go? Go down to 200 feet if you want. That's kind of fun. The only thing we have out here, Jeff, there's a house right ahead of you. See that farmhand?
Yeah, I see it.
Anywhere but there is fine. Just bring that power back below 1900. There you go. This is kind of some of the fun stuff about flying a Stearman. Flying low. You're not up at 5,000 feet in a Mooney.
Right.
You can actually see things.
I don't tend to do much flying at 200 feet. Except for on approach. That'll be about it.
Here we are. We'll level out right here. There's nothing. There's no power lines out here. There's that one off to the right lane, but there's nothing out here at all. It's all open fields. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, beautiful.
Now in Europe, we're gonna add a little bit more power.
Yeah.
In Europe, you can't fly low at all. You can't go below 500 feet ever unless you're landing. Here, obviously, our rule is 500 feet away from any person or property, and we're legal right now. A couple years ago, I flew up to Illinois for the National Stearman client.
Yeah.
There was over 100 Stearmans that showed up there. It took me 2 days to get up there, and only at one time was I above 1,000 feet.
Really?
And that was going around the Chattanooga. Always down low. It's kind of cool. So you flew the Stearman for about 65 hours in your primary training course. Once you graduated from the Stearman, you flew the BT-13 basic trainer. You flew that for 100 hours and did your night flight, your instrument training, and your formation work. From there, the AT-6, the Texan. And then once you were able to solo the Texan from the rear seat, you flew a Mustang.
Nice.
Isn't that crazy?
I would love to fly a Mustang.
Wow.
Now, there's a place where you can fly, a twin two-seat Mustang, but it's like astronomically expensive.
It's in Kissimmee called Crazy Horse, and I think it is up to now $3,400 for an hour.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But, you know what, there's people all around the world, and if that's one of the few TF-51s, the trainers, the 2-seat ones you can fly, they come from all around the world to fly that thing. It's really busy. And when they're out flying, we have them come through Fantasy Flight quite a bit.
Nice. So Fantasy Flight is the orange and white one right over there.
There it is. Yeah. You don't have to play it back now. We can kind of play around. If you want to go up a little higher, do some more lazy eights or some turns, that's cool. 1850 on the power, 75 miles an hour on the airspeed. There we go. As you can see, it is an energy management thing. And let's do this. There's a little smaller airport right ahead of you. Let's make a 180. There's a little grass strip. You can maybe see it now, a little grass runway there. You can actually live with your airplane. What was your favorite maneuver?
The lazy eights were pretty fun.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I've done some mild aerobatics in this thing, loops and rolls, and certainly spins. Spins are kind of interesting in this airplane. But hanging upside down by seatbelt, it's really not my bag, you know.
Yeah.
But the Lazy 8s are cool because you're never hanging outside the airplane. We'll go back above 1,000, and then we'll level out there, and we'll try some more Lazy 8s up here.
Now, are we certified for acrobatics?
Yeah, it's fully aerobatic, yep. We can't do any aerobatic. I don't have any parachutes in this thing.
Right.
And we're actually thinking about putting them in for next season. I've done loops, and the loops are kind of a difficult maneuver for a lot of people to withstand because you pull about 3.5 Gs when you do a loop, when you do it correctly. The roll is not a big deal. It's a 1 G maneuver. I wouldn't spin the airplane with people in it because they'll probably get sick. The first turn on a spin is pretty docile. The second turn it starts wrapping itself up pretty tight. All right, let's level out here, Jeff, and we'll bring the power back to 1750. There's no one behind you, or there's no one around you. So let's do this one to the right, so we'll take us away from these houses. So just remember 10 degrees and bring it on up. There you go, hold it there. Nice and slow to the top, beautiful, nice job. And we'll start rolling it on out. And do the same thing to the left. Now bring that nose on up we go. How about an air show spot? We got a smoke system on board the airplane. There you go. You're an air show pilot today. Look at that, you got a smoke pack behind us. That's cool. You need that for the Mooney.
Hell yeah. You know, I almost flew the Mooney down here, but I was worried about the weather.
You're a smart guy. When I go places, I get on a jet.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to deal with weather. There you go.
I'm trying to build ours, too.
Oh, that's true. You are, Jack. That's right. Is there any place up there where you can get your tail roll endorsement?
Not local. There's probably somebody up there, but I would have to know somebody.
Yeah. Up we go. Beautiful job. Look at that. A lot of training going. That was maybe the best one. I just flew over the top. A lot of training going on here in Florida. You can see there's a lake right over here off your left wing.
Yeah.
That's Lake Parker over in Lakeland. On the west side of that lake in World War II, there was an Army Air Corps training base there. 225 Stearmans were based there. This was their practice area right here in Polk City. Down here off your left wing, the distance about 10 miles out of another lake. That's Bartow. T-51s and T-6s were over here. Way down this direction about an hour is a B-17 base. Sebring, you might have heard the car race they have down there.
Okay.
And there's an airplane right over here off your left wing there. You'll see it. It looks like he's certainly in Fantasy of Flight. You see him?
I see Fantasy of Flight. I don't see the blanket.
Right above the roof there. Well, let's make a left-hand turn. We'll start heading on back towards the attraction there. I don't know the military history of this airplane, Jeff, but I know the civilian history of it. It was actually auctioned off in 1946 after World War II. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
$310.
Man. I'll buy it today from you now for $310.
And that was with a full tank of fuel.
I'll double that.
You'll double that?
Yeah. No, I was looking check out controller.com a little bit, you know, and there's currently 5 Stearmans on controller.
Yeah.
And they start, the lowest one is at about $95,000.
Right. The thing about the Stearmans is they built so many of them, it's kind of a economics equation. It's all supply and demand, you know. There's a lot of them. At any one time, there's maybe 50 Stearmans for sale. So it always, you know, the good ones are always around $100,000.
Yeah.
The poor ones, you can find them for some for 50 or 60. Stay away from those like the Flag.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to recover something like this is a lot of time and money. There's a plane that's going into the airfield right there, Sam.
I see him right there.
Now, what I want you to do is, if you look, you see Fantasy of Flight there. Bring the power back just a little bit more. There you go. There's a bluish-green water tower on the other side of our interstate. That's going to be your reporting point. We're going to check the wind and see which way the wind's blowing. There's very little wind.
Yeah.
My might suggest landing towards the museum. So if we do that, we're going to shoot right-hand pattern for runway 5. So we'll fly right over the top and enter the pattern to land. Awesome. Great job with this thing. You know, basically all you need to do is, you know, the air work is like reinventing the wheel. You already know how to fly an airplane.
Yeah, it's all takeoffs and landings.
It's all takeoff and landing, yeah.
About 10 hours of takeoffs and landing for a freaking tail wheel endorsement.
Yeah. And that's a pretty solid mark. Some people say, oh, it'll take me 5 hours. You have to demonstrate competency in wheel landings, 3-point landings, and crosswind landings. And that takes a while to figure that out.
Yeah, I got about 5 hours in the Mooney right now, and you know, I need about 5 more for my instructor to check me off there.
That'd be cool to hop in a Mooney if you want to go someplace.
Oh yeah, about 140 knots.
Wow. So the idea with this airplane here is they say if you can't see, like that bluish green water tower, if you cannot see it, that means you're going right to it. Right. Which is a cool thing. There's fantasy of fly. What little wind we have is you'll have a little bit of a left to right crosswind, not much of anything to worry about.
Looking for the wind source there.
It's right there
by the.
But you can look, there's a flag on top of the museum. Looks like it's at rest. There's 2 flags at the entrance, and it looks like it's blowing a little left.
Maybe a little bit of a right crosswind, but not very much.
We'll take the long runway. So there's your marker there. There's the green cross or the green water tower. We'll just use that. So basically, if you go there and make a right-hand turn, you'll head towards the middle of that lake down there.
Okay.
And we'll keep it nice and wide for you. Kind of relaxing too, isn't it, Jeff?
Oh, it's amazing. It's calming.
Yeah. You leave all your problems on the ground. Unfortunately, when you get on the ground, they're there waiting for you. There's a nice little landmark there. You can see the fire off that smoke, so you will have a little left to right. Now, we don't have any flaps associated with the Stearman, but you don't need any flaps. The airplane will fall out of the sky with no power. In fact, it'll come down at about 1,400 feet a minute. So we're going to have power throughout the short final. We'll kind of start pulling the power back a little bit. 75 miles an hour is your magic speed, that or faster. You can slow it down on short final. There you go. So the idea of this, if you shoot a little bit higher than normal approach, that's kind of actually what you want. If you drag this airplane in with a lot of power, you can't see the runway. So if you're up a little bit higher, you chop the power, it comes down so fast, the runway is right there in front of you. So it's really simple, and the best way to do it is to shoot a little bit higher than normal approach, and then you have to listen to it.
We got plenty of runway here too.
5,000 feet. Don't worry about it.
5,000 feet is huge.
Hitting that first blade of grass, we'll land about a third of the way down.
Yeah.
All right, we're looking good here. There goes a bird. So lining on up, go ahead and bring the power back, and we'll start heading on down here. It looks like we have the runway made from here. Now I'm going to follow through with you on the landing here, Jeff.
Okay.
Just make sure the heels of your feet are on the floorboard so you're not on the brakes. So come back on the power just a little bit. There you go. Now, just like that power off stall that you did, I want you to listen to the whistle of the wind and the wires here. That's what's going to tell you what this thing is doing. You, at this point in time, you do not hear what the airspeed indicator says anymore. We're going to chop the power to idle here. Just let it come on down. You can hear the wind. We have plenty of airspeed. Looks like there's a guy on the left-hand side down here. I'm going to give you just a skosh of power to help you with the flare. All right, now here, hold it right here. Now hold it right here and hold it in the flare. Keep the airplane off the ground as long as you can. There's your landing.
Beautiful.
Yep, 3-point. Hold it right here. Just keep it going straight. Nice.
You worry at all about, what is that, tail wheel, darn ground loop?
Ground loop, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every time you fly this thing. It's not over till this thing's, basically stopped. My instructor, when I was learning how to fly this airplane years ago, he told me something that was really good. He said, when you land the Stearman, he says you have to treat the rudder pedals like it's like a boxing match, like you're jabbing it. So you just jab the rudder pedal back to neutral. If you start leaning left and right on it, the airplane's going to start swerving left and right, and you'll get it to the point where, you know, it's the point of no return, and then ultimately it'll go off the runway and ground loop. So you just kind of jab at it. Awesome flight. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was awesome. Been looking forward to this. I wanted to come down the last time I was here, and you know, we came down and saw Fantasy of Flight, but I didn't fly that day. I didn't have my logbook. I was like, oh, okay, if I'm going to fly in a Stearman, I'm definitely going to put frickin' something in my logbook.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'd better have you log it. That way it's, I mean, because I'm not rated in a tail wheel.
Right.
I mean, I guess I could write it into my darn self.
But your logbook is your diary.
That's exactly it.
You want all the end numbers of the airplanes you flew. We'll bring this thing back. We'll start slowing her down a little bit here.
I'm going to let you finish this up here.
I'll take her on in.
All right, you got it. You got that little maneuver right by the fence there. It's just beautiful.
It comes on in there. That's what's nice about this, the tail wheel system on this Stearman here. It's a full swivel steerable tail wheel, and it's you can put this thing in pretty tight spaces. And right about here is where we'll just bring it around. So to shut this thing down, all you got to do here, Jeff, just
lean the mixture.
Yep, bring the mixture all the way back to lean, and then take one more deep whiff. You'll smell some 100 octane burning.
Beautiful.
That completes your mission. Great job.
Awesome.